What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? On Happy Father's Day to everybody that's out there that's a father, that's part of the Hangout gang, and hope today was a good one for you guys. I know it was for me. Enjoyed family, got to eat, and got to see some people I haven't seen in a while. So hopefully that it was the same for everybody, and we can go from there. So, all right. So we're about to get started in today's news and today's hangout session. All right, so today now we have the markets in the green. We got Bitcoin up 15%, Ethereum up 26%. You have Cardano up 12%, XRP up 11%, Solana up 22%, Dogecoin 23, Polkadot 14. You got Shiba Inu 13, AVAX 15, Litecoin up 30%. Chainlink 22, Uniswap 22, Polygon 15, Chronos 14, and Stellar 13. Okay, Algorand 13, Ethereum Classic up 20%, Monero 15%, Cosmos Atom 19, VeChain 14%, Decentraland 12%, HBAR and Flow both 13%, Helium 20%, ICP up 14%, Apecoin up a big whopping 33%. Tezos 14%, Theta Network 16, Filecoin 12%, Elrond 21%, Sandbox 14%, Axie Infinity 16%, and EOS 16% as well. All right, so current price of Bitcoin right now is, let's see here, current price is 20,485. Well, $20,460 now. Just dropped some. Now I know a lot of you guys are saying, people are saying that this is the bottom. I don't think so. I still think that it needs to fall more in order to get down to my price targets of around $450. And as you can see, it doesn't need to fall that much in order to hit that price target. All right, the price target is right here. Price is right here. Let me make this bigger for you guys. So price is right here, right? 20,400. It only needs to fall. Well, since it went up, it needs to fall. Now it needs to fall 70 something percent. Okay, which it can happen. It's going to be some political things that's going to happen. It's going to shake the markets up coming up in a couple of months. Being with China trying to invade Taiwan, I know a lot of people don't think that's going to happen. Or think that's a conspiracy or whatnot, but it is inevitable. They are not testing the air defenses of Taiwan for no reason. When you fly into another country's air defenses repeatedly, then that is exactly what you're doing, testing the response time and radar capabilities. Okay, now we'll get more depth into this afterwards, but I wanted to talk to you guys about some crypto news and play some videos, some excerpts, or some videos about some people talking about the markets and whatnot, because a lot of people think that crypto is dead, think that crypto is a scam now since it's done fell, significantly. But that is by far the case. This market is manipulated. There are players that are purposely crashing the market and manipulating the market because, one, they want you out, two, they want more, and three, they want institutionals to come in, right? And four, they want the regulation to happen so that the institutions can come in. The regulation, it's a coincidence that big regulation push from Gary Gensler, and then we have this crypto collapse, and then they use this as an example of why crypto needs to be regulated and why crypto needs to have a heavy hand in regulation. It's kind of funny or suspicious, I would say, that happens like that. But we'll get into it. So let's get into this news, and we'll talk about that now. So it says, crypto billionaire says Fed is driving current downturn. Okay, it says cryptocurrencies are going through a spectacular crash, and the head of one largest crypto exchange said Federal Reserve is responsible for the downturn. The core driver of this has been the Fed, said Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX. The Fed is rising interest rates aggressively to fight high inflation, and that has led to a recalibration of expectations of risk. The billionaire said he appreciates the difficulty of what the central bank is trying to do, noting it is caught between a rock and a hard place. But Bankman-Fried said that a lot of his own outlook for his business is now dependent on the decisions that the Fed will make in the months ahead. This week, the Fed announced the largest interest rate increase since 1994. With the era of cheap money fast becoming history, financial markets have already extremely jittery, and cryptocurrencies have been in meltdown mode. Literally, markets are scared. People with money are scared. The best cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, sank 20% last week and continued to sell off during the weekend. And I mean, I have to agree. The average retail investor is scared because they're not familiar with the markets. They invested, overextending themselves and investing a little bit more than what they had, and so therefore they are extending themselves. So I can see why they're scared, and I would be scared too if I overextended myself. But this right here is just a manipulation, and we're going to go as the video goes on, you will see and hear and come to the same. Hopefully, you come to the same conclusion as I did. Okay. Now, I also agree that the Fed is controlling the the downturn with the increase of the the CPI came out, it was bad, and then you have the increase of basis points or whatnot to 70. What was that? I think it's 75 basis points they want to increase it by. So yeah, of course, with those two reports, I mean, of course, people are trying to put their money in a safe haven, and right now there's no safe haven because it's housing. As you all know, the housing market is teeter-tottering in itself. Okay, now, and we have Celsius Network hires insolvency experts to restructure on the cards. Now, I had a lot of people asking me about Celsius, a year ago. I never got into it, and the whole DeFi, the whole year falling thing, because it seemed risky to me. And it's amazing how Celsius, is going insolvent, is causing the whole markets to go, because all these DeFi platforms, all these exchanges, they were, taking your crypto, putting it into Celsius, trying to get a yield on it, and now look what happens. Okay, you have Babel Finance, you have what is it, the venture capitalists, AC3, Arrow 3 investments or whatnot. All of this is falling due to Celsius. So, and then I seen something else about Solana, and we'll get on that as well. All right, so it says crypto lender Celsius is looking to restructure its operations following announcements on the June 12th that it needs to stabilize liquidity and operation and take steps to preserve and protect assets. Celsius Network has hired attorneys Aiken Grump Strauss, Howard and Field LLP to aid in the restructuring process to remedy its financial woes. The company suspended withdrawals, swaps, and transfers amid what it considered to be turbulent market conditions. And this is another thing. This is another reason why I did not do, the yield farming or the DeFi, because once you custody your crypto to somebody else, you don't own it, and there's no telling what they're able to do and what they're doing with your crypto, and if they're lending it out, if they don't actually, or just what they're doing with it. And as you can see, a lot of people can't even get their money back, even if they do have the money to cover, cover their loan to not be liquidated, because they're not doing any type of withdrawals, swaps, or transfers. So, it says people familiar with the matter told the Wall Street Journal that Celsius considered alternative financing from investors and is open to different financial structures. Okay. So, what can they do? The confidence and the customer confidence in this company is shot. It's gone. Only thing they can do is sell this company to somebody else and let them try to bring it back to life, because the investor confidence in this company is shot and gone. I mean, who would want to put their money into this right here? So, research firm Nansen fueled speculation in late May that Celsius was partly responsible for the meltdown in Terra, an algorithmic stablecoin that collapsed in the beginning of May. When the company filed for bankruptcy, Aiken Gump previously successfully led a restructuring of Nordic Aviation Capital Design Designated Activity Company, the largest leaser of regional aircraft globally. Okay, so Yeah, I mean, to all the people who had their money in Celsius, man, I feel for you. I feel your pain. So here we have a crypto winter hasn't stopped. Billionaire Stephen Cohen's firms from investing in DeFi. So even though you still have some of these DeFi platforms shutting down in this Celsius Terra Luna debacle, you still have some billionaires out there that are still seeing some diamonds in the rough, so to speak. Okay, so it says while crypto market has lost 2 trillion in value since November, the venture arm of the 24 billion hedge fund run by Stephen Cohen, the man who inspired the Billions TV show, announced it invested in its fifth crypto company, a decentralized finance firm that provides data and trade execution services for institutions. Alright, so though the 20 million round was led by billionaire investor Mike Novogratz, uh, Cohen's latest in a string of bear market crypto deals and builds on his hedge fund's past work in institutional private investing and private equity. Okay, so as you can see, crypto's falling. I mean, this is a prime opportunity that for you to get into the markets. Prime opportunity. This is one of the things that you want. Follow the money. You know, I forget who said it, but it's like they said, when there's blood on the streets, is when you make your millions, man. Is when you want to buy up. Right? So as institutions reevaluate how they use or don't use decentralized finance, Cohen's continued involvement in the struggling 41 billion industry is notable, as his firms designed a decision to help build yet another bridge between crypto and large trusted companies. We talked to our existing portfolio of fintech companies and we heard, especially from financial institutions, one thing very clearly: crypto is a big priority. Big priority. So don't listen to the FUD, all right? Because a lot of these institutions, a lot of these VCs, a lot of these venture capitalists, they're investing into these companies and they're buying up crypto, okay? That's one thing that they're doing. All right, so another one. I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Celsius, but Three Arrows, okay? This is another one. Three Arrows Capital reportedly faces insolvency. Crypto bubble is bursting. All right. So it says, and the article's been updated. Looks like it was updated a couple days ago. It says one of the biggest cryptocurrency hedge funds in the world is triggering more risk-averse headlines on Wednesday, causing the entire cryptocurrency to keep falling with it. 3AC, funded by classmates Zhu Su and Kyle Davies, is trying to keep afloat after cryptocurrency website The Block reported it might be facing insolvency. Citing close sources, among the heavy losses from heavily leveraged positions the hedge fund is incurring. One of the most notable and initial causes of what seems to be the generational market wipeout were positions in Terra Luna, now turned into Luna Classic, which went from almost 600 million value to almost currently worthless. Despite Zusu's tweeting out that they are fully committed to working this out, the heavy 3AC trouble is one more step in the process of what looks like the explosion of a crypto bubble, which might give room to a new era if this still young financial system. Alright, so Three Arrows Capital is considered the world's most successful crypto hedge fund, was considered notorious for pushing the supercycle thesis and endorsing Avalanche, Solana, Polkadot, and Terra ahead of the rallies. Now these assets have seen double-digit losses, and Three Arrows seems to be in trouble. Alright, so there has been some speculation that they failed to meet their margin call. Okay, so let's go into this right here and see, and see what happens if they do meet, if it is true that they missed their margin call. So it says this week, Three Arrows Capital, a hedge fund established in 2012, started moving crypto assets to top up funds on DeFi platforms like Aave to avoid potential liquidations. With Ethereum price plummeting close to 1,000, nearly 81 million in long and short positions was liquidated across exchange platforms. Such liquidations triggered by the Ethereum price nosedive could have stretched Three Arrows Capital and risked hundreds of millions in liquidations across multiple positions. The crypto community started speculating about the venture capital firm being unable to meet a margin call. Three Arrows immediately moved around cryptocurrencies to top up their funds. Alright. So and then here is the wallets of them moving the money to cover their debts. Okay. So yeah. Um, Now I wanted to get into some of the videos here why that this market is not done, and why this is a generational time for you to get wealth. Okay. This is the time that you want to be investing into solid layer ones, solid NFT projects, all right, and you want to be really building up your portfolio to you know have an awesome bull run. So let's listen to what we have to say. This is CNBC, okay, and they have this woman on here, and let's listen to what she has to say right here.
Dow just up on the edge there. S&P's in a bear market. Nasdaq is in a bear market. But reading from the book of Ron Barron that you discussed this morning, I actually think that this is a great generational opportunity. I fully agree with the discussion you had this morning, where
That actually said this is a great generational opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for you to make generational wealth and to change your descendants' uh, um, life path. Okay. Now let's continue on.
if you're a young investor and you have the wherewithal to dollar cost average in and buy week to week and hold for a longer period of time, this is going to end up being noise when you look back on it. In the short term, though, it's painful, it feels terrible, and we have to ride it out.
In the long
And that's the other thing. This is what smart money is doing. Smart money is buying, and they're riding it out. Even through all this pain, they're holding and they're riding it out because it's going to turn around. There's going to be a bounce. The bounce may come sooner than what you think. Okay, a lot of people saying that it's going to be a bear market for 2 to 3 years. It's not. Okay, in my opinion, it's not, and it's going to surprise a lot of people when it reverses, and when it reverses, it gets on a rocket ship and shoots to the moon.
long term, when you say you have to have cash that you can have locked up for some time, how long are you talking? This should only be cash that you don't need for how long that you'd be putting in the markets today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the short term, it's reasonable to think if you look at some of the technicals, right? We have some of the major averages off of all-time highs, 20 to 30%. Historically, that has come with a bounce of double digits. If you look back at 2018 and you look back at COVID and you had less than 5% of the S&P above the 50-day moving average, you saw double-digit bounces there. So we might get near-term bounces for short-term traders. I think it's a dangerous game to play, though. So for how long? I think if you're super young, you hold it till retirement, right? And you really benefit from that. I think if you're the average investor that wants to access your money, I do think you have to look out for a year or two, only because things are uncertain. I think we don't know. Again, recession seemed very unlikely, but now you're starting to look at things, and there are some concerning red flags, inflation being one of them.
Now, like I said, most people are saying you don't have to wait for a year before the market starts moving, but I kind of disagree with that. I think that by next February, next March, you'll see people being in for a big surprise. Okay. Now, let's go to here. Max Kaiser. Okay. Let's listen to what Max Kaiser has to say. All right. Let me see here. 28 mark.
For beautiful monetary energy. Why sell it for a worthless fiat dollar, petrodollar, that they don't even have access to when they get blocked on the SWIFT system? So many easy scenarios to play out here, and no one's listening.
Right. Well, on February 26th, effectively the U.S. Seized foreign assets and defaulted on their U.S. dollar obligations. So similar to 1971 when the U.S. defaulted to Great Britain, when Nixon went on the gold, took us off the gold standard. And this began this 50-year experiment of all fiat money, which was really the first time ever you'd had all economies running on a fiat standard.
They will be looking for other things besides the U.S. dollar, and people are going to jump to crypto, and it's going to last off.
Standard that nobody had any hard money. So, and then on February 26th was really an echo of that moment, the Nixon shock, really, when the U.S. essentially said that the dollar is completely untrustworthy and that we're going to default and we're going to seize reserves of foreign countries whenever we want to. And I just don't think that, Greg, we've talked about convexity before and the central banks. And as a result of the 2008 bailout, they loaded up themselves with a lot of these debts. And if Enron, I'm sorry, if long-term capital management was leveraged at 100 to 1, the Federal Reserve Bank conservatively is leveraged at 50 to 1, if not closer to 80 to 1 right now. So if they try to take rates anywhere higher, you're going to have massive default at the central bank. The central bank is going to need a bailout. So in 2000,
bingo. Now we just a few minutes ago we just went over and talked about how the Fed was causing the downturn from what FTX's CEO says, Sam Bankman-Fried says. Now I'm gonna rewind it back to you so you can listen to exactly what he's saying.
and I just don't think that, Greg, we've talked about convexity before and the central banks. And as a result of the 2008 bailout, they loaded up themselves with a lot of these debts. And, if Enron, I'm sorry, if long-term capital management was leveraged at 100 to 1, the Federal Reserve Bank conservatively is leveraged at 50 to 1, if not closer to 80 to 1 right now. So if they try to take rates anywhere higher, you're going to have massive default at the central bank. The central bank is going to need a bailout. So in 2008,
now, where do you think everybody's going to go to? This is across all markets. All markets. Now let's see what else he has to say here. All right.
Capital management. You're not buying it from a Lehman Brothers or a Bear Stearns to insurance sellers who almost went bankrupt.
or implied value of the synthetic.
And you can get protection on fiat currencies all across the world.
Okay, so Greg, the synthetic credit default swap, or the synthetic CDS, as you've just described it, it's the current price of Bitcoin is roughly 95% discount to the imputed or implied value of the synthetic CDS, as Greg has outlined it. Now that's a huge discount. So why I don't what you're putting forward there is such an, to me, if I was working a desk on Wall Street, I would be able to sell that all day long. I don't understand. I mean, in 1980s, I was selling quote unquote portfolio insurance and sold a lot of it. Of course, that led to the 1987 crash, but that's another story. But in other words, the story is you've got $1 million or $10 million stock portfolio. We can wrap that for 2% a year with derivatives, and you've got a maximum 2% downside on your portfolio, and you've got all your upside. So this product is, I don't understand why nobody's not like
intellectually lazy, Max. The guys that are.
All right, so I must have mistimed my mismarked my the timestamp. So, but basically, what he was saying was that the United States was close to borderline collapse, and this is what empires. This is what we're going through. Is what happens with empires, and that eventually, metals and crypto is going to be the safe places for those with money. Okay. Now we're going to go to this right here, and we're going to listen to see what this guy has to say. Okay. We're going to start here at the right here. So let's listen to what he has.
Management for the broader audience, and by using a lot of strong language, they hope they can create a soft landing.
Right. So shifting the sentiment via the message that they're putting out there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the big picture here, though, because this all ties in to the big reset, which is, of course, the theme of one of your best-selling.
Now, you've been hearing for years about the global reset, the global reset, the global reset. Well, the global reset is here, okay? What you're seeing right now is a crash of all the markets to usher in the new financial system, which is going to be digital. The problem is that the elite, the institutions, the banking institutions, they are behind the curve. They don't want to pay $40,000 for Bitcoin, etc. So therefore, knock it down to something reasonable. They jump in, then it goes back up. This is a manipulated, controlled crash. And the next video that I'm going to play You're going to hear Big Swear come out and just flat out just explain it to you in just simple terms.
Books. And in it, you point out that all fiat money systems are doomed to fail, that they've been put to the test for more than 200 years and not a single one has survived. Well, has survived in terms of being the primary reserve currency.
Well, no, it's actually worse. If you study, I did quite a bit of research for that book, and we studied actually the last 300 years of monetary history. And there have been over 200 fiat money systems, so not tied to gold, and they all failed in the end. They all failed. So it's almost guaranteed that the current monetary system, because it's no longer back to gold or anything intrinsic, will fail as well. And it's my thesis of the book that they might to bring gold back into the system, revalue gold, to stabilize the monetary system in a way.
So outline the basic premise of the book. The dollar is going to be dethroned as the global reserve currency.
As the sole global world reserve currency, we could move from a unipolar world to a multipolar world. We could...
Bam. So she asked the question, is the dollar going to be removed as the world's currency? And what did he tell you? We're going to move from a single polar world to a multipolar world, right? And this is why I've been telling people in my group why I picked up Iraqi dinars and I pick up the Viet Dong, because those two are the most emerging markets, okay, in the world, the Asian market and the Middle East market. So I have diversified my portfolio from precious metals, gold and silver, cryptos, okay, and Asian currencies. I'm sitting on like $10 million worth of Vietnam money, Viet Dong, okay. Now, if this man said it's true, okay, it goes to a multipolar world reserve currency, that means that majority of these currencies are going to be 1-to-1 with the dollar. And if the currency is if the Viet Dong is 1-to-1 with the dollar, light switch, wake up one morning, $10 million overnight. Okay, so let me repeat this again. I'm going to play it back so you can hear it again.
And so it's almost guaranteed that the current monetary system, because it's no longer back to gold or anything intrinsic, will...
No longer back to gold or anything intrinsic. Now, that's exactly what he said. The current monetary system is not backed by gold or nothing intrinsic. It's only backed by people's belief, okay? So the next financial system is going to be what? It's going to be backed by something intrinsic, and it's going to be backed by something with gold.
Fail as well. And it's my thesis of the book that they might to bring gold back into the system, revalue gold, to stabilize the monetary system in a way.
So outline the basic premise of the book. The dollar is going to be dethroned as the global reserve currency.
And they just flat out just telling you. Like he said, he put it in the book. And now he's doing interviews for the book, and it's the only reason why it's coming out like this. But this is what the elite, the money, this is what they have been knowing for years, okay?
As the sole global world reserve currency, we could move from a unipolar world to a multipolar world. We could have several blocks. And that's actually what you see happening now after the start of the war in the Ukraine. You have this Eastern Bloc in which China supports Russia, not militarily, but financially, economically. And you have this Western Bloc. So
now, like he just said, you have the Eastern Bloc and you have the Western Bloc. So the Western Bloc is NATO and United States. So what's the Eastern Bloc? Let's look and see what the Eastern Bloc is, because a lot of people are not familiar with the BRICS. Okay, the BRICS nations. All right, we can go to Wikipedia. Let's go to somewhere else. Foreign policy. Why BRICS still matter? You see that? You see the BRICS nations right here? You have India, South Africa, you have China, you have Russia, you have Brazil. Okay, now population-wise, all of these countries have some of the largest economies, the largest populations. They are all hand in hand in crushing the United States dollar. Okay, that is why Russia is doing this, proposing cryptocurrencies to be settled in international payments. So what cryptocurrency do you think they're going to be using? I have a suspicion. It won't be Bitcoin. I'm thinking it's going to be, I think they will use Bitcoin, but I think it's going to be XRP. Okay? So do the research into that, and you'll understand why it'll be XRP. But to back on this, this is the BRICS nations. This is the Eastern Bloc right here. Okay? Look at the population. Look up their economies. All right, then you're starting to understand. This is right here is the opposition to the International Monetary Fund, to the World Economic Forum. Both of those latter back the U.S. dollar as being the petrodollar and being the world reserve currency. This is the hegemony that is trying to break this up, and they can do it, and they're going to do it using gold and digital currencies. All right. So back to what he says. Let's finish off what he says.
You could have the countries in the East no longer willing to take dollars. Actually, you see all.
Wow. Now he said countries in the East not willing to take dollars no more. So let me ask you something right here. Now, if China, we get majority of our goods and products from China. We get majority of our fertilizer to grow our crops from Russia, including a large percentage of our oil from Russia. Now, if these two countries right here say, hey, we're not taking United States dollars anymore. If you want to buy Chinese products, Chinese made goods, you got to pay in Bitcoin or Chinese yuan or the Chinese digital currency. And if Russia follows suit and does the same thing, boom, that's crashing the dollar right there. What are you going to put your money to protect it in? Crypto, precious metals, real estate, etc. Even though the real estate market is crashing, it's still good, to buy on the crash or the dip of the real estate. All right, now let's finish it. Let them finish it.
All countries east of Germany adding to their gold reserves.
Right.
So that's very significant.
I want to circle back.
Now, like he said, adding to the gold reserves. So let's just see what he's talking about. Let's see what gold reserves, what countries. Let's see here. Are countries adding to gold reserves? Which nations have been buying gold? You see the number one, Russia. Number two, Turkey. Number three, India. Number four, Poland. Number five, China. So how many of these BRICS nations are in the top five? You got Russia, you got India, and you got China. You got the RIC of BRICS in the top five that's been buying gold since 2011. 2011. It's because they're getting ready. They've been attacking the dollar, and they're getting ready to crash it all. All right. Now, one last video to show you that this market is manipulated, and that the players that be know that the crash is coming. They know that the reason why the crash was coming for them to move their money out of dollars and into something safe. Okay? So let's see what Big Square has to say, okay, about this right here.
Every exchange, with everything that's going on, all of this, that has dropped dramatically. Gold has been coming down a little bit now, and the markets are crashing. I just wanted to get your take on this. I don't know if you want to start at crypto first, then go to gold, then the markets, or whatever order you want to do this.
Now listen closely to what Bix is saying, all right? And he's going to tell you exactly how and why these markets crash.
But what's your take on all of this? Well, a lot of it's orchestrated. Most of it's orchestrated. I mean, every exchange is run off computer programs out of the Fed and the Exchange Stabilization Fund. They have ultimate control of pricing on anything from the cryptos to the stocks and bonds. Everything's done with derivatives now, so we could just put that on the side. But with cryptos, yes, it is another one of those drops I've been through. I think this is my fourth one that I've been through. And you can't really tell how they orchestrate the drop until a few months after the main stuff goes down. And it's coming clear now that during the latest run up, the banks wanted and the controllers wanted everybody to get into DeFi, which is decentralized finance.
Now remember, everything that's falling right now, Celsius, Babel Finance, all those right now, DeFi platforms, right? DeFi. They were giving people 600% on your crypto, 6,000% on your yields on your crypto, all right? Now, he just told you that the banks and the institutions wanted everybody to get into DeFi. That's why they were pushing it so hard, okay? And then look what happened to DeFi. They took everybody's money. Now listen to what else he has to say.
And so all these DeFi companies started spouting up, and all the cryptos, you can invest your crypto with them, and they'd make you 15-20% returns and all that. And the feds let that run. And we all knew it was a Ponzi scheme, and now that's unwinding. It's part of the plan to take the cryptos down again so that they can prove that strong legislation is needed in the crypto space. And that's exactly what Gary Gensler at the SEC is saying these days. They've written all the rules. That's ready to go. They just needed a reason, and so the public would get behind them. They're crashing cryptos now with a bunch of the unwinding of the DeFi companies like Luna and like Celsius just went this weekend. So it's all planned. It's all scripted. If you have the right cryptos and they're in your own possession, you'll be fine in the long run.
Like he said, it's all planned. It's all scripted. And if you have your cryptos, you'll be okay in the long run. All right? What did he say? It's all planned. It's all scripted. You will be okay. If you have your crypto in your custody, self-custody, off exchanges, you will be okay in the long run. You'll be rich beyond your means. Get your crypto off exchanges. All right? So now we're going to go back to him and let him finish.
So, I mean, the regulations, is this going to benefit the people, or are they trying to rein it in so the central bank is trying to not really control, well, maybe control it, but, try to keep people from getting into cryptocurrency?
They're definitely not trying to keep people from getting in. What they're trying to do is integrate cryptos into their control system. So they have this system set up.
Now, what did he say? They're trying to integrate it into their already existing financial system, right? All this stuff talking about cryptos going to zero. Warren Buffett says crypto. Bill Gates says crypto is a scam, et cetera, et cetera. They are telling you that so they can buy the majority of it before they release it back to you and let you know that, hey, it really wasn't a scam. It's really good for our business, so therefore we're using it. Okay? So anything that you see in the media, 9 times out of 10, you need to do the opposite of it.
Up with stocks and bonds and the computer manipulation of that, and they can't stop crypto. No country wants to stop it because they'll just be left in the dust. So,
well, I'll be damned. He said no country wants to stop crypto because they'll be left in the dust. If no country wants to stop crypto because they'll be left in the dust, what is that telling you right now? Should you sell everything just because this crypto crashed and fell 80%? Should you? Or should you be buying what you can afford and stacking and compounding, waiting because no country wants to be left behind, so therefore they're never going to ban crypto. All right?
What they're wanting to do in the U.S. is regulate the crap out of it, so they still control prices and the computer market rigging and all that.
They want to regulate it so they can still control the prices and the price rigging. The current markets are full of corrupted rigging. Okay, you have what they call in the precious metals, where you get contracts and stuff, and not getting the actual precious metals and stuff, and they don't even have the metals, which is some of the exchanges are doing with your crypto, which is why you need to self-custody it. But it's just too many problems. Crypto is the future, and they know it.
I mean, my vote would be to have no regulators at all, and if people make bad choices as far as what to invest in and lose all their money, fraud or not, that's their fault. I mean, we need to start taking care of ourselves instead of looking to regulators. But that's not how their system works. Their system works. Massive regulations coming to crypto. It'll be good and bad. A lot of cryptos will just go away, but a lot will be reinforced. They'll get.
Now, I agree with this. A lot of cryptos will be going away. Okay, a lot of cryptos are not going to make it. All right, they have no solid teams. They have no solid roadmaps. Okay, and it was just a cash grab. So a lot of them are not going to make it. Just like a lot of exchanges are not going to make it. They're going to be shut down. If you're on my crypto group or follow my crypto pages, then you understand, because I've been saying this for a while, that for months, that a lot of exchanges and cryptos were not going to make it during this 90% downturn. Okay, And it's good to invest in teams in cryptos that have good solid teams, good solid roadmaps, and that are building something that can be used in everyday use case. Okay, so let's finish this up.
Get the okay for corporations to invest in cryptos, and that's where it's headed.
So they want control just like they have control of gold. They use the paper markets and derivatives and things like that. So they're trying to do the same thing with crypto?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100.
And bingo, there you have it right there. Right as of right now, as you can speak, they don't have total control over the crypto markets, and that scares them. So they are doing everything that they can to where they can grab total control. They're sending Gary Gensler after crypto. They're crashing the crypto markets. They're having all of the prognosticators on TV flooding the markets, etc. So they can buy it up, they can get the regulation in, and then they can present it right back to you as in a brand new package as some new bright idea, new bright thing.
100%, and they are.
Yeah.
They're doing it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
They're heavily into the crypto markets and the exchanges, and they have threatened all kinds of lawsuits against exchanges unless the exchanges play the game with them. And
exactly, and that's why you're seeing Gary Gensler doing what he's doing, saying, "Hey, come and talk to us, and so we can get you on the right path." And when they do, he is trying to file suits against them because he has to do this so that he made a statement a couple of months ago that they have to level the playing field. Okay, that wasn't mean for the retail investor. That was for the institutions and the banks. They were the last ones to get in on the crypto, and the people got in it first. And they have to flip that. They have to flip that. Okay. They want to get their money. They want to be the top dogs still when a new financial system comes in. That's what this is all about. That's what this crash is all about. That's what everything is all about. They don't want to lose their position, and they have to maintain their position as up on top and in a place of I guess not authority. Well, I guess you couldn't say authority.
a lot of exchanges are playing the game with them. In the U.S., it would be Coinbase and Binance, Kraken, and Gemini are the big ones in the U.S. and they're doing what the feds tell them to do, but at the same time, these exchanges are still kind of criminal. They don't have the coins that they tell their customers they have.
And that's another thing. A lot of these exchanges, they really don't have the coins that they say they have. That's why when you buy crypto, you need to immediately move it off of that exchange to your wallet. Okay? That is the number one reason why that you need to self-custody.
So make sure you get your coins in your own possession.
And what do you think is happening with gold right now? Because that's also dropping.
Well, gold and silver. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was very big into gold for a long time when I understood that gold was the basis of our monetary system as a store of value.
Now, this is a bonus right here. You definitely want to pay attention to this right here if you're into precious metals. I invest in metals. I have been invested in metals for the last 8 years. I have lots of gold, lots of silver, and I will switching my investments more so from gold to silver. And silver is used in everyday use cases, computers, smart TVs, phones, etc. And it really should be one-to-one with gold. And it eventually, when all this happens and takes place, you will see $3,000 silver. Okay, you'll see $10,000 gold, and you'll see $3,000 silver. But let's listen to what Vic said about the silver as a little bonus.
Value silver got changed over the last 100 years to both a store of value, a monetary instrument, and an industrial instrument. So, with my research on gold, I think there's massive amounts of gold. They're not telling us about. I don't think there's 2,000 tons of gold that's been mined. I think it's more than 1 million tons, or even 2 million tons that they have in the ground that they are not allowing to be dug up yet. But I do think gold will be the main part of the new monetary system. Silver is too valuable for that. We need silver in flat screen TVs and solar panels and electric cars and all that. I see the gold silver ratio going 1-to-1 at some point because there's 6 billion ounces of each. And true,
as you can say, 1-to-1, right? Because what did he just say? Same thing I said. Smart TVs, electronics, phones, computers, tablets, etc. Right?
Basically, we can live without gold. We can't live without silver. So they're the bank's number one.
We can live without gold. We can't live without silver. That's a big statement right there.
item out of everything, out of the dollar, out of the stock market, the bond market. Number one thing to rig is silver. Keep that silver price down because the stock market, the bond market. Number one thing to rig is silver. Keep that silver price down because they don't silver. Keep that silver price down because they don't. Number one item out of everything, out of the dollar, out of the stock market, the bond market. Number one thing to rig is silver. Keep that silver price down because they don't want people understanding how undervalued it is.
Do you find it interesting that the
Now, my sources tell me that silver is going to be around $9. All right, if you see that right there, you need to ape into silver. Not financial advice. Do your own research as always, but that is what I will be doing. Okay.
markets are crashing and crypto's dropping, gold's dropping, silver at the same time?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a click of a mouse at the Fed. They can crash any market they want.
So he says the Fed can crash any market that they want at the click of a mouse. The click of a mouse, they can crash any market that they want. And y'all still don't think this market was manipulated? This crash was a manipulated crash? Somebody talk to me out there. Let me know something. Let me know something.
They're the heaviest player in those markets at all times. They can take out people. They can change the narrative through the media, through the the Treasury and the Fed. I used to think there was the good guys are going to win the battle of the economic system, but when you understand that this control mechanism has controlled the system, the entire system for over 100 years, you're like, oh my God, how can this ever be taken out? I think there is a plan to take it out, and I think it's a great plan, but it's not easy. It would take the cooperation of people around the world for that to happen. I think it's happening.
So he says it'll take the cooperation around the world from the people in order to take out the banking cartel. No, Bix, it won't take the cooperation of the world. It'll just take these guys right here. What did I have? Bix, where they at? It'll just, let me see, where's the picture at? Let me go, where'd it go, where's that? It'll just take these guys right here. Them right there. And that's exactly what's going on, what's happening, what you're seeing happening. Okay? Exactly what you see is happening, what's going on. Alright, now, before we end today's live stream on the Sunday Hangout, we're going to go, we already went over Bitcoin, we're going to look at Ethereum, look at a few other ones before we get off. Alright? So you got this is Ethereum 4-hour chart. And you can see RSI is above 50, so I expect a pullback to start. As you can already see, it's starting there. And to confirm it, you can go into the 1-hour chart and see and look at that. As you can see, RSI is overbought on the 1-hour chart, so expect a pullback. It could pull back down to 895 or to 949, but it will pull back, especially when the Asian markets wake up and they start to selling off as well. Okay, so that's Ethereum, and it's probably going to follow with Bitcoin. Let's see what the Bitcoin 1-hour chart is. See, Bitcoin is oversold as well. It's approaching extreme oversold area, so you got the pullback. What else should we look at? We should look at where's Matic? Okay, Matic is another good coin I have in my portfolio. As you can see, it's at 38 cents. It is oversold, so it too is pulling back. Right? You had a little bit of buying pressure, but as you can see, MACD is about to cross over here again. Okay, so it's going to pull back along with Bitcoin. It'll follow the same trend as Bitcoin. And then we'll look here at XRP. Alright, this is XRP. Now, everything that I've discussed in this video, okay, the bankers, the VC capitalists, the institutions, make no mistake about it, they are buying XRP. Okay, XRP will be the payment system used to settle cross-border payments. Okay, no matter what the FUD is being pushed out there about XRP. Now, my levels of XRP bottom is 21 cents. XRP is currently at 88 cents. Now, it needs to fall quite a bit now since it went up. It needs to fall 75% to reach my targets. Now, when XRP falls under, back under, let me see. When XRP falls back under 70 cents, is when I'll start DCAing in. Okay. Oh, this is the wrong. This is XRPT. I'm sorry, it's the wrong one, wrong coin. XRP is 32 cents. It's at 32 cents now. In order to hit my targets, it needs to go down 33%. All right. So now is a good chance. It's 33 cents. When it hits 30 cents, is when I'll start buying, start DCAing in. All right. Those are my target points. Okay. It's XRP. Now, I wanted to thank everybody for you know, hanging out with me today on this Sunday afternoon on this Father's Day. I know that you guys are spending time with your family. I appreciate every one of you guys for tuning in and giving me this hour, you know, of your time. And I hope that I was able to provide some information for you guys to make a good decision on what to do in these markets going forward. And if you like the content that I provide, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like video, and share the content, spread the word. Let other investors that are your friends and family, share the channel with them and let them know that there is somebody out in this space that knows what's going on and that is willing to break the information down to you and present it to you in a manner to where you can decide which path that you want to go on and which path you would like to go down. Alright, so we do this every Sunday. Every Sunday we'll have the Hangout. I didn't do the chat box today where you can ask questions, but we'll do the chat box where you can ask questions going forward. And again, thanks for hanging out. Be on the tune out for Mirror Mondays. We'll have the gaming Monday, the Gamers Only show every Monday at 8 p.m. So tune into that. And follow us on all our platforms on Twitter at CryptoCrane2. You can go to the Facebook group. It's called the Crypto Hangout. And then you can also follow us on Instagram at the Crypto Hangout or CryptoCrane20. Alright, this is Crypto Crane for Sunday edition of the Sunday Hangout. All my Hangout peeps, see you tomorrow. Peace.